Welcome to my weekly Wednesday live. I am Anne LaFollette, and if you are new here, I am very excited to greet you and to welcome you to my weekly Wednesday chat about art, creativity, and surface design. And surface design, if you've never heard of it, is actually putting any of your little doodles or drawings into what's called a repeating pattern that goes from side to side and top to bottom. And it goes on any surface. This happens to be on a fabric surface, but surface design also covers your artwork on a carpet or a tea towel or wrapping paper. And I love to come on once a week to talk to you about what I'm doing in my creative business and to inspire you to keep making progress in your creative journey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can see that there are many of you joining me from my Facebook business page, from my private Facebook group, Anne's Art Club, and also from my YouTube channel. So welcome to today's broadcast. I am Anne LaFollette, and if you don't know me very well yet, I actually had to completely reinvent myself in my late 50s because I got laid off from my corporate job. I had a corporate job for over 30 years. I'd always thought of myself as a corporate employee, working diligently and climbing the corporate ladder. And I got all the way up to the vice president level. And I was at the same company for 15 years, the last kind of gig I had. And all of a sudden, my boss called me into his office and he told me that my job had been eliminated and to go talk to human resources. I was in my mid-50s at the time, and it came as a complete shock. But here I am 10 years later, and I've completely reinvented myself, and I've developed a beautiful creative business online around this art practice called surface design and surface pattern design. And I could not be happier. And so I love to come on once a week to talk to you about the blog that I write every week, and also to answer any questions that you might have. So tell me in the comments, if you're on my email list, you got an email on Tuesday morning. That would be yesterday. If you don't see it on Tuesday mornings, always check your spam folder. But let me know tell me in the comments if you read it. Did you get the email? Did you open it up? And then did you pop over to my website to read my email? Because my email is all about this new book that I'm reading. And it is Ed Milet's book called The Power of One More: The Ultimate Guide to Happiness and Success. And I want to talk to you today about some of the biggest takeaways that I have from reading this book, specifically as they apply to our creative businesses. So pop into the comments. Let me know how you're doing in your current creative journey. And I am going to talk to you a little bit about my blog post. And I can see that some of you are saying you got the email, but you haven't had a chance to read it yet. That's totally fine. Hi, Lisa, I see you. So what I wanted to also do is I am in the process of migrating my website. So I thought that one of the great things for me to do on Wednesdays when I come online is to make sure that you know where my blog resides, so you can always go find it. And I write a blog every single Tuesday, and it's on my website, Anne LaFollette Art. AnneLaFolletteArt.com is my URL. And so I'm going to, one of the things that's so magical about computer technology today is that I can share my screen with you and show you exactly where it is, AnneLaFolletteArt.com. So I'm going to share my screen, and you're going to see on screen right now the my website. This is my website, AnnLaFolletteArts.com. And I'm in the process of migrating it to the latest version of Squarespace. And so I've changed the navigation a little bit. Do you notice I've changed a little bit of the navigation? You can see my courses over here, Anne's Atelier, Doodles, and the Academy. Ann TV takes you over to my YouTube channel. You can learn more about me under the About tab. You can also join my email list by clicking on the Join tab, and you can get your own 7-day free trial of Adobe Illustrator through my affiliate link right here. But I basically have put the blog highlighted in red over here on the right. Now, this is a scrollable page, so you can scroll down and learn a lot more information about what I offer. These are some free guides for you, and learn more from some of my students. And then you can follow me on Instagram as well, down here at the bottom. But if you go back all the way up to the top now, there's a really, really easy to find button called blog right here. And if I click on that blog, you see, if I scroll down, that I have been blogging for the last, actually, since late 2018, really starting kind of on a regular basis in 2019, but it's basically every single Tuesday. And I talked about masterminds quite a bit because I've been going to masterminds recently. But I wrote my blog about Ed Milet's One More, the secret to creative success. And it's really the secrets to any type of success. But since we are all creatives here in #Ann's Universe, I wanted to make sure you know where you can go find all of my past blogs, as well as the one that I just wrote. So this is where it is. And I'm going to come back on screen. So now you know where to find it, and you can see that my website looks a teeny tiny bit different. Doesn't look very different, but looks a little bit different. And you can still find the blog up in the upper right-hand corner, so you can pop over there. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what my biggest takeaways were, and continue to be, because I haven't finished it yet, about this book. And if you're interested in getting the book, Pauline Riley, who's my wonderful creative manager, community manager rather, she is going to put the link to the book in the comments. I have the hard copy, so she's going to give you a link to the hard copy, but she will also put a link into the Audible in case you want to sometimes I like to listen to a book. Sometimes I do both. I get the hard copy and then I also get the Audible version so that when I go for a walk, I can listen to the book as I'm walking. But here were some of the really, really key things about the book that I absolutely loved. And the first one is that the first thing that he says, the overarching message that he shares with us in the book, is that just one more effort in our daily or our weekly actions can lead to extraordinary results. And the core concepts that I really have been diving into in more detail are really around this compounding effect of one more. Also, the mindset of abundance that comes with this concept of one more. And then also the fact that if you're always trying one more thing, you're building an amazing amount of resilience. And resiliency is so important in today's world, right? Because change is happening so quickly, change is happening around us all the time. And so we need to build resiliency. The concept around, let's talk for a minute around the compounding effects of one more. And what he means by this, and the way he describes it in the book, is that we can really make amazing progress if we just keep moving forward, right? So it's not about taking a massive leap forward. It's about taking an incremental movement forward. And that when you do that on a consistent basis, you get this compounding effect. And you can sit here today and look back at what you were doing in January. And if, for example, you've been on this pattern design journey with me, you can look back and realize how much progress you've made since January, because you've been in my programs, you've been doing the work, you've been learning new skills, And you're so much farther along than you were back at the beginning of the year. So those incremental steps are great. And so it's not around more effort. It's really around making sure that you realize that creating this consistency it has compounding positive effects for you, which I absolutely love, absolutely love. Now, the other concept that he covers that I also was very intrigued by is that cultivating this attitude of possibility. And that even if you, for example, have created surface pattern designs and you don't like them that much, you're creating repeating patterns like this beautiful one on this blouse, you're in the beginning stages, and so the work you're creating you're not that excited about. You sort of feel like you need to continue to get better at it. And so having this mindset shift from scarcity to abundance, I've actually covered in the past. I have a link in my blog to an old blog post about how to move from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And when you think more about being in this place of abundance, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. And one of the things that I try to do for myself, because sometimes we can't always be positive, right? Sometimes it's tough to be positive, especially in today's world. It can be tough sometimes. But what I try to do is I try to think of, okay, I want to move from an I can't mentality to a I can, right? It's sort of an I can't yet, but I can. Right? I can. I know that I can. I just have to give myself some grace. I have to give myself some more time. I have to make sure that I have the training that I need or the support. Sometimes it's less about the training and it's more about being in a community that's supportive, like #Anne's Universe, which is where you are right now. The other thing too, that as like a mantra that I like to say to myself is I like to say, let's move from is this enough to what else is possible, right? What else is possible? So if you've been creating some artwork and you want to learn how to actually leverage that artwork in more ways, then you could learn surface design, for example, so that you could put that artwork onto a tea towel or onto a dress or onto a t-shirt or onto wrapping paper. And we're heading into the holidays, so greeting cards and wrapping paper and lots of gift ideas are going to happen right around the corner. Now, the next idea that I wanted to share is all about resilience and the power of sticking with it, right? The power of not giving up, right? The power of realizing that you can give yourself grace. We need to take breaks from time to time, but if you stick with your practice, you are again going to notice an incredible amount of incremental progress that then demonstrates really amazing progress over time. And it's so important for us to have this sense of sticking with it, because we can look online a lot and see people who appear to have gotten overnight success, but then when you realize and you get to know them better, you realize they've actually been doing that for 10 years or 30 years. So they've been sticking with it. They're not an overnight success. They've actually been working on it very, very diligently and incrementally, day by day by day. And that incremental improvement and that incremental stick-to-itiveness helps us move from ordinary to extraordinary. And those were the big takeaways for me that I wanted to share with you. And there's a passage in the book that I thought I would also read to you because I loved it. It was sort of an example. It was an example, and it's called, are you guys okay? Are you guys still with me? And can I read this little passage to you? Give me some hearts or give me some hearts or some thumbs up in the comments so I know you're hanging with me, because then I will wrap up as soon as I finish reading this section. But this really brought it home to me, and it's called Busting Open the Piñata. And so I'm just going to read this passage. Busting Open the Piñata. So one more try is so important that I want to give you a few examples to drive home the point that often in life It feels like we're making no apparent progress, even though we are. My favorite of these is what I call busting open the piñatas. Life is taking swings at a piñata. It's also an excellent metaphor for how to understand the impact of one more try. There's no external evidence that we're making progress, and that's why people often quit before getting to the part of their lives where the candy comes out. Let me read that again. There's no external evidence that we're making progress, and that's why people often quit before getting to the part of their lives where the candy comes out. The perfect example of this is from a few years ago when I went to a birthday party for a 5-year-old. And many of you have probably been in this exact same situation, where at the party there was a piñata, and one by one the kids put on a blindfold. They stepped up, they were given a bat, and they swung around and then were told to swing at the piñata. The first couple of kids grazed the piñata. They were disoriented and didn't know which direction to swing. Even with some well-intentioned help from their fellow partygoers, they had no apparent damage to the piñata, or so it seemed. Though those kids got a little frustrated when nothing came out, what they didn't realize is that inside, the piñata was slowly breaking down. The kids who went up later figured out the game a little bit more. They stepped up, bat in hand, and took their swings. Many of them made solid contact and did some damage, whether they knew it or not. The compounding effect of pounding on that piñata, even if it seemed like the piñata was holding firm, was making a difference. Every time a blow landed, those kids made invisible progress, growing ever closer to the ultimate goal of busting it wide open. All the kids shrieked with anticipation after each thump. After a few more whacks, they sensed the papier-mâché beast was weakening. Still, the piñata would not break. When all of the children had taken their swings, Mom blindfolded the birthday boy, and he stepped up for his turn. That little man reared back, and with the mightiest one more try you're ever going to see, he busted that piñata open. You know what came next. More than a dozen children scurried up to gobble up all the treats and goodies that had fallen in the piñata. Was it that one shot that busted the piñata wide open? Absolutely not. Here's the thing. It was the compounded accumulation of all of those hits that contributed to achieving the goal of getting the candy. So this is my advice for you, as Ed says, is don't give up. Keep moving forward with your creative practice. Set aside even just 15 minutes a day to work on your sketching skills, or to work on your color, your love of color, or your color exploration, or to play inside Adobe Illustrator a little bit more to get more comfortable in there. Because before you know it, you will realize the amazing progress that you're making, one baby step at a time. So I thought that you would totally enjoy today's session about the power of one more, because we always need additional encouragement in our creative practices to keep moving forward, to be kinder to ourselves, to give ourselves grace, and to keep moving forward. So let me know if you have any questions. And it's been 20 minutes, and I like to make sure I'm very sensitive to how much time I spend talking to you, so that you can go back and spend the rest of your beautiful day doing what you need to do, because I know you're all very busy. But I very much appreciate you joining me today. And if you are watching the replay, I hope that you have enjoyed this session as well. I will be back next Wednesday. I'm live every single Wednesday, come rain or come shine, unless I'm on an airplane. Right, Pauline? So Pauline is my community manager, and she lives in Wales. And so she's on the other side of the world from me. And she knows that I'm live every Wednesday unless I'm on an airplane. And I'm going to be here through the end of the year. I'm not traveling again until January, I think. And so Rose Mavis, I see that you'd like the link. So when you look in the newsfeed where you are right now, you can just scroll up a little bit or scroll down a little bit, and you'll see that that the wonderful Pauline Riley has added the link to the book in the newsfeed. And you can also get it. Pauline will add it again, so it's easy to find. She'll add the link to the hard copy book, which I have. And she'll also add the link for the Audible book in case you want to listen to it instead of getting the hardcover. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I so appreciate it. And I always like to say in closing that I am Anne Follett. Here's my cute little heart. I am Anne Follett. And it's never too late to create. That's my motto. I'm so glad you were able to join me today, or you're watching the replay. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.